Hi, I'm Kendra Corman with HTH Consulting and president of the LBN Troy Blue Marlins. And I am here for a member highlight with one of our members, Kim Bergstrom of the Bergstrom Insurance Agency. Kim is one of the co-owners of the Bergstrom Insurance Agency. So, Kim, how did you get into insurance? That's my favorite question to ask insurance people.
Yeah, because it's not usually a path that a lot of people start out on. Although in my case, it was kind of, predestined, I guess. My parents were both insurance, employed in the insurance industry, but not in what I do. They were just different insurance things. So I got started there, and then kind of just, as often happens with people, just got introduced to opportunities to get more involved and to end up where I am here now.
So what's your favorite part of insurance?
I enjoy helping people. That's part of my personality. And I guess, saving people money is helping them. So I guess that's kind of the same thing. But I also enjoy when something bad happens, that's what an insurance is about generally. I mean, that's what we're selling is claim service, really. And so it's great to be able to help people when they are in a bad situation. And so I guess it's all about helping people.
Oh, that's great. So you do personal and commercial insurance, right?
Yes. Yep.
What would you say is the most overlooked coverage when people are looking for personal and or commercial?
For personal lines, I think uninsured and underinsured, and more likely underinsured motorist coverage is something that people don't put a lot of thought into. Which is kind of something that they see on their policy and don't really know what it's about. But it's kind of almost one of the most important coverages, I think. And what it is if you're injured, if somebody else injures you in an auto accident, let's say, and you would be entitled to recover damages from that at-fault driver, but they don't have enough coverage to pay all your claim. And so without underinsured motorist coverage, you would have to hire an attorney, go after their personal assets, and then the attorney would get percentage of the benefits that you would get back. But with underinsured motorist coverage, your insurance company kind of takes their place, pays you off, and then they try to seek recovery from the at-fault driver. So if you ever talk to anyone who's been seriously injured in an auto accident, they're the biggest proponents of that coverage. They know it and they realize the value of it. For commercial insurance, it was kind of interesting. There's a coverage on commercial policies that is for loss of business income. Like if business has to be a covered loss, and you get payment for the income that you lost while you were shut down, while you're in. It's intended for if you're building. You can't have access to your building while the repairs are being done, so your income goes down. But what's been interesting in the last year is that, with COVID, with a lot of businesses that had to shut down because of that, there are a lot of lawsuits going on right now because the intention of that coverage is for a building that's been physically damaged. Mm-hmm. And so there's a dispute between if you have to shut it down because the government says you have to shut it down, is that physical damage? And so far in the United States, most courts have said no, it's not. But anyway, that's kind of I digress. But I think that the business income coverage is a big deal for commercial policies.
Yeah, definitely. And I know it doesn't cover pandemics technically in the exclude list. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to play out.
Yeah. There's a lot of money involved in that.
So cyber liability insurance is something that a lot of people I don't think understand, but has really grown in its popularity. I think also partially because some people are bored and having fun and just hacking everything. It feels like I get more phishing emails and things like that than ever before, and texts. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But what do you recommend? Do you recommend cyber liability for small to mid-sized businesses and organizations?
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's kind of two paths on there, or two prongs to that coverage. For cyber liability, the name itself, cyber liability, implies that it's liability coverage means it's damages or money that you owe to someone else. And so if you were to send an email to someone and there was some kind of a virus attached and all their stuff got damaged, so that would be liability coverage, cyber liability coverage to them. And then the other is if somebody does damage to your own personal stuff, that's a first party coverage. And so it's good to make sure you have to check into coverages for both of those, because it's crazy. And I've noticed we get, just within the last month or so, we get a lot more phishing emails that are very tailored towards our industry. The attachment will say something that I would expect, about somebody's insurance policy or something. And you have to be, they've gotten very clever. And so you have to be very vigilant about not opening up things, obviously. And that's maybe a little bit easier with a small office, where somebody can yell out, "Hey, did you send me this?" or something, and then you would know. But if you've got a bigger office and you've got a lot of people that can't just reach out to each other, it's especially important to have the cyber liability coverage.
Okay, thank you. Now, you work with a lot of churches, and that's one of your specialties, right?
It is. Yes.
And you work with faith-based nonprofits.
Correct.
How did you guys get into that? And tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's kind of a God thing. Although my in-laws, so we've been in business since 1958, but we were started by my husband's parents, and they, they're both gone now. So I really don't even know the answer to this. I don't know how they started, doing the church market. They somehow got connected with a company we use called Brotherhood Mutual, who specializes in insuring churches and other faith-based nonprofits. And they're both gone, so I can't ask them how that all happened. But I suspect they were very involved in their church. They were very strong believers, and it just kind of fell into place. And so when my husband and I joined the agency about 30 years ago, it was there, and it was good for us too, because we're very strong believers and active in church, and so it was just a good fit for us. And I really it's been great because working with churches is just it's a great, I don't want to say that they're a better class of people. I don't, it's not like that, but it's just more less stress, I think. Just dealing with the people that are involved in churches.
Very good. Thank you. Now, when choosing an agency to work with, you guys are an independent insurance agency, so you're not what they would call captive. I'm using a little bit of insurance lingo. So you can actually go to multiple insurance companies to shop out coverage for personal and commercial individuals that are seeking coverage. When choosing an agency, what are some questions that you would recommend somebody ask to make sure that they're picking the right person or agency?
This is how we run things here. So I'm kind of biased about it, I guess. But when you with some other agencies, some other companies, you have one person who sells you a product, and then you never have any contact with them again. Although maybe they might come out every a couple of years and review things with you. But we kind of have a model here where if I sell you a policy, you can call me if you've got servicing issues. You don't have to talk to somebody else. I'll still, you talk to the same person that you started the relationship with. So I think that's I like that. I like that when I buy something from somebody that I can still talk to them after, the sale's been done, that they're not, haven't moved on to other pastors. But I like that. I also like, with us, we answer our phone. I mean, we have a voicemail if we're not here, but we answer our phone. A real person answers the phone, and we're just all about the relationship. I love people. I love knowing their stories, and so I would just recommend checking into those things. But obviously, when you get to the financial stuff, not the emotional things, but You want to make sure that the insurance company has a good financial rating and, good claim service. That's the other thing. Okay, I'm gonna back up a second, but that's the other thing about us. If you have a claim, the claim is all handled by the insurance company. But I feel like I tell our clients that we're kind of their partner in the process. I mean, we represent the insurance company, but if there's an issue, if there's any questions or any concerns about anything, we will get involved. I mean, we don't have the power to overrule anybody, but we can maybe sometimes speak the same language and explain things in a better way that might help. And there's one other thing too about that. My husband and I, before we came here to the insurance agency, we were claim adjusters for another insurance company for like 8 years. And so I feel like that's kind of a strength that we have here too, is that we know how claims should be handled. And so if something's not going right, we can recognize it and usually do something to at least get things headed back in the right direction.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. So do you have anything else to share? Anything else you'd like to talk about with your agency or yourself to give some insight?
I would like to add that I mentioned that we bought the agency from my in-laws, but our daughter works here now. So we're third generation, although she's on maternity leave right now. But she is coming back. And so that's kind of a nice thing. I think that adds to the relationship, too, when it's family owned and operated. We have a very, very serious commitment to, service and making sure that people get the product that they need. I don't know. I also tell people, I'm not perfect. I've been known to make a mistake or two here, but we are trustworthy, and I think that's what you want in any business partner, but especially for your insurance.
Okay. That's great. Well, I've gotten to know Kim over the last couple of months. I think we've spent together, and just love her passion for insurance and for helping people, because that's really what it comes down to with insurance is you don't like insurance until you need it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then you always wish you had more. No.
Exactly. So you can definitely learn more about Bergstrom Insurance at bergstrominsurance.com and reach out to them. Otherwise, I'll let you know that we are the LBN Troy Blue Marlins. We are local and regional networking at its best. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesdays at 7:30 in the morning on Zoom. If you're interested in visiting, if there isn't a conflict for your business category, please feel free to give me a call for more information, and I would love to share with you more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kendra.